your brain is always listening to your breath right
Oh,
now, and I can demonstrate that really quickly. If you imagine that you started to choke on your lunch, if you had a sandwich and you started to choke and it blocked your airway, it would be a matter of seconds before you started to panic. You would be clutching at your throat, your pupils would dilate, your heart would beat faster, you would start to sweat, your diaphragm would start to contract, and you would be in a panic state really, really quick because your brain is always listening to your lungs. It's the most important connection. That's why I love
wow.
what I do, because nothing else is like we can go ages without food, we can go quite a while without water, we can go quite a long time without sleep, all these things. But the air, we don't get very long. I know the guy that set the world record. He did 10 and a half minutes on a single breath of air. His name's Tom Zitas. He got to train me in Corfu a couple of years ago. But unless you're Tom Zitas, most of us are in big trouble after a couple of minutes. So the reason I say this, and the reason the Chris Hemsworth thing's so important, is the brain's always listening to the lungs. But with breath work, with what we can do, and breath work is the conscious art of changing what you do with your lungs, you can send that signal the other way. So what I mean by that is you can start to slow your breath down. You can make your breath deeper. You can make your breath quieter and softer. I'm going to send a set of signals up to my brain that are very different than if I started to huff and puff. So huffing and puffing is going to make my brain think one set of signals. A slow, gentle, deep, rhythmic breathing through the nose is going to send another set of signals. Those signals get interpreted by the brain, go through the nervous system. And so what Chris was able to demonstrate really well in that show was when he got his breath under control, when I think he's walking on a really high building in VR and everything's going crazy, and he starts to control his breath, and you see his heart rate come back down again. You start to see him get a bit of balance. We have that gift all the time. So if you're going for an interview or you're about to ski down a mountain or, fill in the blank, we've got control of our lungs. It might not feel like it in the moment, but we can start to take slower, deeper, fuller breaths. And then we'll send those signals to the brain to say, everything's okay. I'm calm. So that's the beauty. So yeah, I love that. I can't wait for the second season of Limitless to come out. But yeah, the neurons in the brain are always listening to the lungs. And that's why if anyone's listening to this and they're under stress, anxiety, depression, know that you can change your state in a couple of seconds. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, that is. And when if I eat really fast, I do feel like something's stuck,
Okay.
and I try not to freak out. And I remember that I have this airway as well in my nose.
Mm.
And so I just try to tell myself that I need to swallow, I need to make sure that I can breathe. And I just kind of, but yeah, and whenever I do start my speeches, when I get up and speak to people, I will breathe through my nose first, and I'll be like, I just created some nitric oxide just by breathing through my nose
Yeah.
and getting that full breath in. And what's so fascinating about Cardio Miracle, that our sponsor, that I do just have to do a little plug, is that we've actually proven that if people drink Cardio Miracle, that it actually has proven that it improves your oxygen intake 30%. And we've proven that through a separate study that we've done on the product. And we have 4 different studies that we've done on the product. And if people go to cardiomiracle.com/studies, they can see those studies and be able to read how well the vitamin D and production of this happens, as well as the oxygen intake and the recovery. And so it's been a lifesaver for a lot of people. And we only work with whole and organic fruits and vegetables, which sets us apart from the pack. And so with all the breath work and how you teach people how to breathe and how to calm their nerves and how to make sure that they're present, because really it's about being present. Would you agree with that?
I think that's a big part of it. It's we when you think about the modern cell phone today, it's the enemy of presence. It's distraction. So we are fighting against that as well. So I think the big thing for me is peace. I think that if I had to summarize like what we do, it's like try and find a bit of peace. I think a lot of people are under tension. I've worked with a lot of burnout this year, anxiety, stress, low energy exhaustion. So presence is a big part of it, and we all want to be more present.
Yeah.
But it's also the I think energy plays a huge part. A lot of people just exhausted, and then when they do get energy, they're feeling tense and tight, and yeah, and then distractions are another part of it as well. So there's a lot of things going on. The reason I mention all those things is they're all deeply influenced by how you breathe. So if you don't breathe properly, and you can take a simple test on our website, and we'll tell exactly how you breathe in. But if you don't breathe properly, it's going to impact energy levels, sleep quality, mental clarity, stress resilience, and your anxiety levels as well. They're the kind of big five that we work with.